King, you son of a bitch. You did it again.
Be more than human.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph Carroll. I write under the pen name J.R. Carroll. And today is a big one. It is our foray back into Stephen King. And specifically his first fantasy novel since, what, went through the keyhole like 10 years ago? 10 years ago I think it's been. And this is Fairy Tale. Now, this has been a very anticipated book. And I actually didn't have it on my TBR because I forgot that it came out this month. So I kind of had to shuffle around and, get on the ball here. Because this, I wanted to get a, review out, and I was really excited about this book. Now, with Stephen King, especially modern Stephen King, I was a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie. But this book, we start off. He's going back to his strengths, right? Coming of age story, and this is what he's the master of horror, master of coming of age. And I tell a lot of people though, like, I think is he the best in fantasy? That's up for interpretation, but I will call him a master of fantasy as well. And anybody who loves The Dark Tower, this will feel like you're coming home. It is, especially once you get past about the 25-30% mark. Like, we start off, Charlie is the main character here. He's a kid from a small town on the, I want to say they were kind of, I don't know if it was a half hour, 45 minutes from Chicago, something like that. So, it's just a small town in Illinois, and, he's a, football player, baseball player, and, the King does not spare you this opening. I mean, he comes right at you with it. So, his mother dies tragically, and then his father, falls into alcoholism. And, not a story that I haven't heard before. I mean, it's, these things happen, and he walks you through the process of all of this. And it's pretty traumatic, but, then you get to see kind of how he's grown into it, develop, why his personality is the way it is. And he reveals that throughout the book too, of other, you find out more about what made him what he is, up to the time of him being 17, and kind of slowly reveals things that he's done, some he's not proud of. But he makes a kind of a special deal, so we're saying. I'm gonna try to stay out of major spoilers, but he feels like he has to hold up his end of the bargain. And then there's this old recluse man, that lives on the top of a hill in an old house, and there's a, supposedly a fierce dog that lives there. And one day, he hears the dog whimpering and sees that the old man has taken a spill, right? He's fallen down, and he feels like, I got to go help. He does, and everybody wants to make a big deal about him being a hero. He wants nothing to do with people believing that he's a hero, and that kind of goes out through the whole book. Right? And so then he makes a deal with the old man that he would, take care of the dog. And this sets the scene for another awesome animal companion. Now, we all love them. I made a video, maybe I'll put it up there, of why we love animal companions and why dogs are normally the best animal companions. So, we find out that we find out that there is this, portal to another world. But that's like, we literally go like 30% of the book before any fantastical things happen. But through that 30%, Stephen King is feeding you these amounts where you're just like, man, I really want to keep going. I really want to keep, like, what's next? And like, and that's like 150 pages or so. And normally I wouldn't, but he is such a master of weaving normal everyday life and making you so interested in it. And then he is so good at making that make sense once you get later into the books and how things come full circle. Again, I want to kind of keep this spoiler free, but Stephen King mixes so many genres, and it's weird, he just lightly touches on fairy tales, and where he's like, oh, well, this could be that, and this could be that fairy tale. And Stephen King is so smart. Throughout the book, with the prose and the first person narrative, something was throwing me off. I was like, something's not right about this. Like, certain things are off. And then right at the at the end of the book, he kind of explains it to you. He's like, you might have been wondering about this. And I'm like, King. And as a writer myself, just genius. And a lot of people are wondering, is this tied to the Dark Tower? I'm not gonna say whether it is or not. I guess that'll be for you to decide once you read it. But let me know in the comments below, have you read it? Are you planning on reading it? My opinion is, yes, this is a great book. And if you've read The Dark Tower, especially if you liked the wastelands and the feel of the wasteland, like when they're in the city, and then the breakers, the way that they wrote and talked about the breakers within the Dark Tower, if you like that, that's the kind of feel that I got from this book. I loved it. Might be my favorite book of the year. And I know it's like, oh, it's Stephen King, but if you've watched my other ones, like, Stephen King's not always at the top, but he is right here. So, I can't wait to see you guys in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.